It's time again for another installment of the basics, and in continuing with a couple of the other episodes I did, which was the first 3 turns on certain card games, today's episode is going to be the first 3 turns of the X-Files CCG. Now, I don't have a deck put together at this time, but the first 3 turns of the X-Files CCG are so brutally easy, I'll show you what's involved, okay? Now, if you remember me telling you in previous episodes, in the X-Files CCG, you can play up to 3 cards every turn, whereas you can't do that with a lot of other card games. So, the X-Files card game, when you're playing, and through the different phases of the turns that I've explained before, you can get a lot of cards out to help you start getting towards your objective, which is to figure out what your opponent's X-File is. So, in the first 3 turns of playing the X-Files CCG, your primary objective should be 1, getting out your X-Files card, which in this case is alien abductors, but you keep it face down because it's the whole point of the game is for your opponent to figure out your X-File as you're figuring out his. You want to get out 2 to 3 locations quickly. I've put 2 down for now just to make this more simplistic. You want to get a few agents out to start investigating the sites, and you want to get some equipment out to help aid them in their investigations. So as you can see, I've already played an event card, and I've got about 7 or 8 cards out. So I've done about 9 cards. That's roughly 3 cards per turn. You don't have to play all 3 cards every turn, but it's imperative you get at least these things out. And in terms of what's left in your hand at the end of the turn before you draw, it could be a combination of any other cards, events, witnesses, more sites, bluffs, adversaries, more agents. You know, it's a mixed bag. And as you progress through the game, that'll determine what you start playing. And it also depends on what your opponent is up to, because he's doing the same thing on the other side of the table, putting out sites, assigning agents, getting equipment there. Because the sooner you get that X-File figured out, the sooner you win the game. It's really that simple. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that, unlike other card games, there are many phases per turn in the X-Files card game that go briefing, healing, requisition, deployment, case assignment, investigations, and debriefing, all before you draw your cards to signify the end of your turn. So you really got to keep aware of this. Now, not every player of the X-Files card game is going to have the exact same strategy, but from what I've seen over the years, back when I used to play before I got back into the game, and things that I've observed from other games, is that the first 3 or 4 turns always follow the same kind of pattern. Players are struggling to get out sites, agents, and equipment right away to start the investigations. By not doing that, you're delaying your investigation of your opponent's X-File, giving him precious time to jump ahead and get to you before you can get to him. It's all about priorities in this game, and your first priorities should be what I've told you on today's show. Have a great day.